welcome once again to the Pet Show. Is your corgi behaving a bit chaotic? Are you being definitely conned by your calico kitten? Does your Shih Tzu have you totally stumped? Well, if you love and adore your dogs and cats, and I know you do, and really want to get inside their heads to figure out what they think about and why they behave the way they do, or you just want to understand why they do some of the things they do at this point, or you just want to improve their lifestyle. Either way, you know what to do. Stay tuned, because once again, right here, right now, it is time for the Pet Show. That's right, America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, pet lifestyle. Call it what you want. It's all about pets here on the Pet Show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, because it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never even a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. If you want to join me on the Evergrowing Pet Show family, you have a question or comment, want to brag, want to tell me a story about a dog or cat that changed your life, or a dog or cat that changed your life maybe for the better or maybe not so much for the better. Maybe you have a situation where you're thinking about adopting a dog, you're not sure what to do. Great time to call me. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person like me, that's 866-870-5752. So if you want to find out if your dog is, and why they're jumping or digging, or your cat is scratching, or looks at the litter box and says, no way am I going to use that litter box, or your dog looks totally confused when you take him out for a walk and he's involved with going after other dogs, or people on bicycles or skateboarders paying no attention to you. That's what we do here. We resolve those issues for you, and more likely we resolve those issues for your pet as well. Again, the number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away on the show as well. Let me tell you what is coming up on today's show. Right off the bat, a real interesting question came up in an interview I was doing recently. I do a lot of interviews during the week, and this question came up. Hey, Warren, is it possible? Is it really, really possible for dogs to suffer with autism? Can dogs be autistic? You know, it's interesting because there's a real close, interesting link between autism in humans and canine behavior dysfunction in dogs. I'll explain coming up. It was an interesting question, though, and we'll find out. Can dogs be autistic? Cats as well. That coming up in just a little bit. Also coming up on today's show, I love this. You know what I'm talking about. Is your dog or your cat spoiled? Everyone's raising their hand. I know you are. We love our dogs. We adore our cats, but sometimes we just tend to overdo it. And you wake up one day and realize that now your dogs and your cats are now running the entire house. You know what I'm talking about. Signs that your dog or cat is spoiled, coming up a little bit later on the show. So if you have a spoiled dog or cat, give me a call. I want to hear from you guys as well. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. I'm curious to see what you guys think about that, or maybe the different ways your dogs and cats may be spoiled. And you know, years ago, when I first started talking about this and I started getting some fame, I went on TV and I went on radio, and there was an article in the New York Times, the LA Times, and I suggested that it's real important that people include their dogs and their cats in their everyday conversations. Now, after the reporter started laughing and saying, hey, Warren, you really need some help, I said, not so fast. Many people thought I was absolutely crazy. Crazy as a fox. Brand new studies have concluded that just maybe Warren was right. We'll talk about that coming up. And you know, on a serious note, probably the worst part of being a pet guardian is knowing that chances are we're likely going to outlive our dogs and our cats. Some people adopt a dog or a cat right away when the other crosses the rainbow bridge. Others need to wait. I'll give you my thoughts, but I want to get your thoughts as well. So many of my listeners, I'm sure you guys have lost your dogs and lost your cats and decided to get another one right away or perhaps wait. I want to find out what the difference is, why you decided to wait or not. Great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. I got some stuff to give away on the show as well. So if your pet is jumping, chewing, scratching, confused about the litter box, not housebroken, doesn't get along with the dogs, doesn't get along with some people, believes everything he sees has got a hump, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. And the question of the day is kind of simple. Really simple. Should you bring a new pet into your home right away when your previous pet crosses the Rainbow Bridge? Or should you wait? I'd love to hear from you guys. It may be really helpful to people out there as well. So great time to give me a call. I do have some air horns to give away, maybe some T-shirts to give away. 866-870-KRLA. The phone number, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. The lovely Suzette will be screening today, and Alex is the engineer. If there's any problems, blame it on them, not on me. Before we get started, I just wanted to talk about this for a little while. You guys know I do my national show after this for Radio America, Armed Forces Radio. So I'm talking to people all over the United States, pretty much all over the world. And it occurred to me that every time I go online or every time I look at a shelter, whether it be in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Miami, Denver, Phoenix, it doesn't make any difference. They're all full. All the shelters are full. And after speaking to the people at the shelters, a vast majority of the dogs and the cats at the shelters were brought there for behavioral reasons. Now, years ago, when I was first starting out, I was it. I was the trainer behaviorist going to all the shelters up and down the East Coast and the Midwest, trying to help as many pets as I could. But nowadays, you can't go anywhere and find someone that is not a professional trainer, a professional behaviorist, a professional this or professional that. So the question in my mind is, with so many people out there claiming to be so knowledgeable about dog behavior, about cat behavior, why are the shelters still so full and the majority of the dogs and cats there are there for behavior reasons? I don't get it. Can anyone answer that question for me? Years ago, there weren't behaviorists and trainers at every shelter. Now there are pretty much trainers and behaviorists at every 7-Eleven store. Why? Why? Can someone explain that to me? I have no idea why. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So many of these dogs and cats at the shelters are there for behavioral reasons. I don't get it. Also coming up a little bit later, I was asked this week, Warren, I know you've trained thousands of dogs. What was the most number of dogs you ever worked with in 24 hours? The most number of dogs I worked with in 24 hours. I'll share that with you coming up a little bit later. Again, the phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Yeah, doing a show in a T-shirt today. Pretty unusual for me. And the reason for it is it's probably right now in Arizona where I am, maybe 103, maybe 104 degrees. Who knows? But anyway, it is pretty warm. 866-870-KRLA phone. So plenty of stuff coming up on today's show. I'm really curious to find out your intake in terms of whether people believe that waiting for a period of time before adopting or rescuing another dog or a cat is the right way to go, or do you want to do it right away? I guess it depends on the individual, but I really want to get into that with you guys and find out what that's all about. And also, No, I can sit here and tell you not to spoil your dogs, not to spoil your cats. It's the wrong thing to do. But let me tell you, anyone who's ever spent more than 5 minutes with my Molly and Willie, or any of my pets over the years, realizes, Warren, you're probably the worst offender. You're probably the worst offender because I spoil my dogs every single day. And the reason for that is they deserve it. They make me smile. They make me happy. I want to do everything I possibly can to make their life as good as I possibly can. And spoiling them is sometimes the way to go. Sometimes I say, or Denise will say, Warren, maybe you should. You know what? I'm going to do it. It's just the way it is. I believe, and you know my background, and you know the type of advanced training I've done over the years, from Schützen to Polizei to ring sport, all of it, okay? That's fine and that's dandy. Not for my dogs. I want my dogs to be dogs. I want my dogs to hump a leg once in a while. I want my dogs to enjoy life. To enjoy life. Yeah, I could resolve some of the issues they're having, but then again, I don't know. I don't want the perfect dog. Anybody want a perfect dog out there? Does anybody want a perfect dog? I think my dogs are perfect. Molly and Willie are perfect the way they are. Except when I let them outside and it's 100 degrees outside and I go out there with them and they look at me like, oh, we're just going to hang out here. And they go right to the shaded area. That's how smart they are, right to the shaded area. As I said, we are broadcasting. I am broadcasting today from beautiful Arizona. Plenty of stuff to talk about on today's show. I do got some stuff to give away as well. Also, later on, there was an issue that came up this week about a police officer that I want to say accidentally, I don't know, but shot a dog, and the came up again is, are police officers trained enough how to deal with pet dogs if they appear aggressive or whatever? And years ago, for the police departments in New York, Nassau County, and all of them, I gave lectures and seminars to all the new recruits coming in, talking specifically, letting them know how to deal with a dog or a cat, because the dogs or cats were, not so much cats, but dogs were being shot if they showed any type of aggressive behavior. And so it was my job to teach the police officers how to recognize what true aggressive behavior might be, how to deal with it, and what to do and what not to do. And I spent hours and hours with so many police officers, and I still get calls to this day saying, Warren, how would you deal with this, or what should we have done here? So great time to call me. The phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Great questions coming into the show. I just had a call last night from someone who's going to be bringing a dog into their home today, and they wanted to know how to get their dog to get along with the cats. And I said, let's just give the dog a little bit of time to decompress. Let him relax a little bit. We don't know his background that much. He's just coming out of it, so let him relax a little bit, and then we can gradually expose him little by little by little. As I said, I really would love to hear from you guys, so if you're near a phone, give me a call. Do you think the right thing to do, or the right thing to do for you, is when you have to say goodbye and one of your pets crosses the Rainbow Bridge, do you need to go out and adopt or rescue a dog or a cat right away, or do you believe that maybe you should wait? We'll talk about that. Plenty of time for your questions. I do got some air horns to give away. I got some t-shirts to give away, copies of my best-selling books, either dog or cat, how to get your dog or how to get your cat. Also got some calming discs from my good friends over at acornpets.com to give away on this show as well. So if I put you on hold or I have to go to a break, please hang on there. Wait, I'll get to your call. I promise. It's just going to be a minute or two as we go one way or the other way. I'd love to get that from you. And also, are you guys afraid to admit it? Or are you going to let me know? How do you spoil your dogs or cats? Are your dogs spoiled? Do people come into your house and say, I can't believe you let your dog sleep on the couch? I can't believe that. I can't believe you shared that sandwich with your dog, Warren. You tell us never to do that. I can't believe you did it, Warren. Do you spoil your pets? Give me a call. Let me do this. Sandy, Tila, let me take a quick break. I'll get to your call, so just hang up there. Really interesting calls. I want to talk to you guys as well. Let me take a quick break here. When I come back, I'll get to your phone calls. Plenty of time for your calls. Some great stuff to give away. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call before the phones get jammed up. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein, that phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I wrote an article. I'm going to share that on my YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not following my YouTube, what are you waiting for? YouTube.com at Warren Eckstein. I do share a lot of videos there, so check it out. I was talking about mental health, and mental health matters for our pets as well. Years ago, people thought that mental health didn't affect our pets, but let me tell you, my research, my studies, and my absolutely on work or working time tells me that they can. They suffer with anxiety disorders, depression, obsessive compulsive tendencies, traumatic stress responses, phobias, dementia. They've been living with us since we woke up. Why would we think that our mental issues would not go right down from one to the least to the other? So yeah, dogs and cats have mental issues too. Maybe if we have time later, I'll give you some of my tips in terms of dealing with mental issues if you have a dog or a cat with them, what you can do to get those under control. But right now, let me take a call, go to beautiful Huntington Beach. I know it's cooler there than where I am. Hey, Sandy, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, Warren, and it's already 78 here.
Yeah, well, it's already 100 where I am. So, nah.
Heard you say. You got me beat. I have a question because last week you said air horns, and we've got a special, and you buy 3 or more, and they're 25% off. I thought, oh my God, they're back because you were gone. They were gone for so long, and I had ordered a long time ago the big ones, and they're way too loud. So I came online to order. I can't even find on your website how to order them. So I called the number for your store, and it's no longer in service. So could you bring me up to date, please?
Since we cut out the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplements, that 800 number. So in other words, if you go to the website, I don't know what website you're going to, but if you go to thepetshow.com,
I'm looking at it,
and you go to the store.
Yes, and I'm looking at the air horn. It says sale, and they're $14.50, but I can't see where to buy them. And I don't see your special because I need 4. I have them everywhere. I mean, my lab is great. She chases the crows away from our squirrels in the backyard. As soon as she hears a crow, she's gone. But we follow up with your air horn, and mine are getting pretty low.
I am, there's a sign on my desk that says if it doesn't pee, I don't deal with it. So you can rest assured that I don't run my website. It's run by the lovely Julie, who I will check with. So why don't you do this? I don't know why. I mean, people have been ordering it, and I guess.
I sent a text. I sent a text to the text number on there. I sent an email, and I never heard back from anybody.
Really? All right. Well, anyway, here's the deal. If you order the air horns, it's 15% off for 1, 20% off for 2, 25% off for 3. Here's what I want you to do, okay? Obviously, you have a computer. Send me an email to mail@thepetshow.com, mail@thepetshow.com. Include your phone number there. I will give it to Julie first thing. Actually, she comes in Tuesday. First thing Tuesday morning, and we'll figure out the dilemma. In the meantime, I'm going to check it out during a break and see if it's you or it's really my website. Not that I don't trust you, but I've heard a lot about Huntington Beach lately. So anyway, what I'm going to do...
I am not a techie person at all. So that's what I'm saying. Just bring me up to speed here.
I would love to, except you talking to another...
And I love to talk to Julie. She is a great gal.
Isn't she? She's fabulous.
Oh,
she's amazing. She's probably still sleeping as we talk. But anyway, what I'll do is...
But you're always up at 4 in the morning, so...
I am, yeah, but that's not Julie and Denise. I'm the early riser.
I'm not
anyway, what I want you to do...
One.
Send me that email to mail@thepetshow.com. I will have Julie contact you Tuesday, and we'll figure out your air horn routine. In the meantime, because I am such an incredibly nice guy, I am going to put you... I'm going to put you on hold, and the lovely Suzette is going to pick up, and I will make sure we send you at least 1 air horn for free. Okay, and then you can order the rest, okay? Because you got to order the rest, because if you don't order them, my dogs won't eat. 866-870, Carol, I don't get that. That's the first response we had like that. It's really interesting. But anyway, check out the website, thepetshow.com. If you run into a snag, just email me at mail@thepetshow.com. Or you know what? You can go mail@thepetshow.com. You go mail at Warren Eckstein. Either one will get to me. It goes to the same place. So if it's easy to remember, mail at Warren Eckstein, and then mail at the Pet Show. Whichever way you want to go, that's what I want you to do. Anyway, we'll make sure we will get back to you. But I'll check that out before the end of the show. We'll figure out why Sandy in Huntington Beach is having trouble ordering the air horn. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. So just before I get to you, Tila, I was doing an interview this week, and the person said to me, Warren, I know you trained thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs. Man, do I feel old. However, what was the largest number of dogs you ever worked with in a 24-hour period in one day? You're sitting down? Over 300. Now, I know what you're saying, Warren. How is that possible? How could you have worked with over 300 dogs at the same time? One of the largest YMCAs in the country is located in a place called Glen Cove, Long Island, right across from one of the Russian embassies. I was the head instructor for the YMCA for all over. And every Tuesday, from the afternoon to the evening, I would run classes for basic obedience, off-leash obedience, utility training, companion dog training, and then show dog training. And in each class, there was like 75 to 100 dogs. I wasn't doing it by myself. My lovely wife, who's no longer with us, Faye was with me, and Faye would work right alongside me, really focusing on the show dog end of it. But we would train a minimum of 300 dogs on every given Tuesday, and I would sleep an awful lot on Wednesday. So that's a pretty good number, 300 dogs in one day. Guinness, where are you? Guinness, come on. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me go to Tila, calling from Alabama. Hi, Tila from Alabama. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks so much. So I was taking care of someone else's pet, ran into somebody who had a fairly new dog, and they were telling me the blue healer, and they're saying the dog has gotten aggressive. So anything they have in their hand, for example, let's say the wife goes to wipe up a spill on the floor with a paper towel, the dog just attacks her hand. Thing they have, and he's gotten so aggressive, they're going to need to rehome him because he's about 15
and
months
what
old.
What do you think's going to happen if they rehome the dog?
Oh, it's not going to go well. That's why I'm trying to get some ideas of how to help him. I told him
well, first of all, let's try to figure out the cost. The healer's an amazing dog, just an absolutely amazing dog.
Oh, yeah.
Part of the problem is when they had the dog early on, I don't know how old the dog is and it doesn't make any difference to me. When a dog grabs something, very often the first reaction from their guardian or their owner is to yell and scream, "No, bad dog, what are you doing? Grab it away," and grab it away and grab it away. So the dog can become very territorial or very possessive over items, even though he doesn't already have them, you have them at that point. So what happens is the dog comes over to grab that, you tell the dog no, and the other people tell the dog no, and the dog becomes more aggressive at that point. All this dog needs is an hour with me. And I don't say that to be bragging, but it's just a matter of basic education. If the people would focus on the basic education for the dog, when they went to grab something and they told the dog to stay, the dog would stay. If they told the dog down, the dog would lie down. If they told the dog sit, the dog would sit. The problem is people have well-trained dogs. The problem is the dogs are only well-trained when there's no distractions around or nothing's getting their attention. So it's critical for everyone out there to understand this, that when you're working with a dog like this, basic training is your way to communicate with the dog. Because right now, when the dog goes to grab something, she's cleaning up the floor, whatever she's doing, I'm sure they're yelling, "No, no, 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 no," because they're fearful of dogs being assertive at that point, and it's just going to make the dog more assertive. It's like two men fighting. The more they yell, the more aggressive the fight becomes. Again, basic training is what this dog needs. Now, if they don't want to put the time in, I don't know why they wouldn't. It's a great dog. If they don't want to put the time in, what they need to do at that point is, if they're going to rehome the dog, they need to find someone that is totally understanding of the situation and is willing to work with the dog to reestablish that positive authority and that positive training. Because any dog that's well-behaved is going to respond 85% of the time. Nothing's 100%. 85% of the time when the guardian or the owner is giving the dog a specific command. So that's where they should be. This is not a dog problem. They've created a dog situation, but they can resolve it easily enough if they want to put in the time and effort, either get a professional in there. They created the problem. And in my opinion, it's their obligation to resolve it. Because bottom line is for everyone listening out there. If that dog is given away with the same situation to a different home, he's going to react the same way. Then they're going to give him away, and he's going to wind up at the shelter, and he's going to wind up being euthanized due to no fault of his own. No fault of his own whatsoever. Right. So I think if you have a conversation with the people, this is not a problem dog. It's a dog with issues that can be resolved, and people have to separate those differences. I hope that helps you out a little bit.
Right,
Tila.
Yeah, and I told them that they're an older couple and they've suffered from long COVID, and they realized that he's too much dog for them. They can't even walk him. I got him to get the Easy Walk harness, showed him how to use it. He walked. Had they considered
having a professional come into the home?
I think that it's just going to be too much for them in their mind, because he goes out the back door. He carries on. They play with him.
How old is this dog, Tila? How old is this dog? Tila, how old is this dog?
15 months. 15 months.
It's just, first of all, if they're a senior couple, they should have probably adopted an older dog. I have my fingers crossed. I hope that this dog winds up at a home where the people understand the situations. Give them the advice I gave you. If they have an issue with a new family, have them call me. But maybe I come from a different school. I come from a school, if it comes into my house and it kisses me and it pees, it's there for life, and I have to resolve any issues it has. They're a senior couple, long-term COVID. I understand that. I have a family member going through that, something they may have considered before they brought this dog in, a 15 or I don't know how old the dog was when they got it, before they got it. I don't believe in this.
Yeah,
but this revolving dog mentality, this revolving pet mentality, if it doesn't work out, well, no, that doesn't go for me. Anyway, I hope they follow my advice.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, give me a call, and I really, really do appreciate that phone call. I know I get a little upset when I hear calls like that, but bear with me, okay? If you go to the shelters and spend time at the shelters and watch these beautiful dogs and gorgeous dogs with easily resolved issues being brought to the back, and you know what happens in the back, and there's no reason for it whatsoever. They can be resolved. The behaviors can be resolved, especially when you have a dog that's being territorial or possessive. This problem, the dog was not born with. This problem was created by the couple that brought this dog into their home. Bottom line. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Great time to give me a call. I do have a couple of books to give away. I do have some air horns to give away. I got T-shirts to give away, calming discs. Great time to give me a call. And the question of the day, come on, guys. Should you bring, or do people think they should bring a new pet into their home if they've recently lost a pet? Should they wait? Should they do it right away? What's your feeling on that? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, 866-870-5752. A quick break, then back to Mike and Scott. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Listen, just before I get back to Mike, Scott, and Linda in my hometown, my old hometown of Santa Monica, I want to share this with you because it's part of what I'm going to be talking about. Most pet owners would admit we love giving our furry companions the royal treatment, yet sometimes a little affection. By the way, I'm reading this because it's something I put on YouTube. We'll put on YouTube on Tuesday. Yet sometimes a little affection turns into a lot of indulgence, and before you know it, your pets run the household. If you've ever wondered whether or not your pet has crossed into the spoiled zone, here are the most evident signs. Number 1, refusing basic commands. Number 2, turning up their nose at their normal food. Number 3, oh man, have I seen this going into people's home? Your furniture looks modified. It's covered where the cat scratch. It's covered where the dog sits. Constant begging during meals. Sleeping wherever they want. I'm an offender. Molly and Willie sleep wherever they want, even if I have to move. Requiring daily clothes changes. I don't dress my dogs. My dogs are butt naked, but that's up to you. Demanding car rides like celebrities, expecting spa days, throwing tantrums, getting anxious when left alone, refusing to play with ordinary toys, following you everywhere, acting like the host during visits, expecting a treat for everything, and picking their own walking routines. Just some indications that your pet may be spoiled. Do you have a spoiled pet? I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me go to the phones right now. We're going to take you guys in order. Let's go to Mike. Mike in Gardena first. Then we got Scott and then Linda. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey. Good. I talked to you a couple of weeks ago and about our dog, Ava Gardner, and she was having some issues with her stomach and being lethargic and all that sort of thing. We took her to the vet, and anyway, you recommended to add some maybe tuna to her dog food and kind of heat it up and mix it in, and it worked. She's eating now. She's running around. She's happy. She's back to her old self again, and it's great. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, no, and I'm glad you spoke to your vet. Listen, sometimes the best answers are the easiest answers, and sometimes, especially when it comes to our dogs and our cats, when there's an appetite situation or an eating problem, it usually has something to do with either the way they feel or the way they're smelling things. So once you heat it up and put some of that tuna juice in there, I'm sure she looked at you with those loving eyes once again. So she's doing well.
she's doing excellent, actually. It worked. You know, your simple solution, it worked. It's like it wasn't anything complicated like sometimes you expect. So you're a professional, so.
No, a simple solution from a simple man. That's the best I can say, Mike. You know, take all my education, all my years of education, and put it off to one side. I have learned more from people whose homes I've gone to, thousands of people, and talk to them about their dogs. That's my education. Forget the college, forget this, forget the years, and forget all that. That were important, but the most important thing is by talking to people like you. I learned years ago when someone would talk to me about a cat that wasn't eating or a dog, I didn't know what to do, but I had to come up with something. And I said, well, let's try this. I knew that they eat with their nose, so let's try heating up or doing this. So I've learned from you as much as you guys have learned from me, and I really do appreciate the call back to you to let us know how the cat is doing.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you knew that. And you did. You recommended that I call you back and let you know how Ava Gardner is doing. She's doing very, very good.
Is there any reason you named to Ava? Is there any reason you named to Ava Gardner?
Say again.
Is there any reason you named her Ava Gardner?
Actually, my girlfriend named her because my girlfriend's really, really super into gardening, and she's got a really nice garden, and she puts her garden on Facebook and Instagram, and she gets a lot of comments from people that see her garden. And so,
well, good. Maybe I should call your girlfriend. Maybe I should call your girlfriend for some advice, Mike. As soon as I put it in the ground, it dies. It doesn't make any difference. I'm living in Arizona. How do you kill a cactus? How do you kill a cactus? That's what I want to know. Give it to Warren. Let him plant it. That's how you kill a cactus. No doubt in my mind. Anyway, Mike, thanks for that call. Give that cat Ava a big hug and a kiss from me, and keep us posted every few months, and keep us posted on how she's doing, because my listeners are real interested.
Okay, thank you.
You have a great day. I appreciate that phone call. I love getting calls like that. I love getting the feedback from listeners in terms of their dog is responding, their cat is responding. It can make all the difference in the world. Hey, coming up, and we're going to get to you, Linda, and we're going to get to you, Scott, so please be patient with me. Some real interesting stuff coming up. I had this question, and it's something I've talked about years ago, but is it possible for dogs to be autistic? I'm going to talk about this a little, probably the second hour. Is it possible for dogs to be autistic? When I first started talking about that, people thought, again, people thought I was crazy over a lot of things. But now, according to a growing number of veterinarians, maybe Warren wasn't so crazy. So we'll talk about that. Great time to call me. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Plenty of time for your calls. I do got some stuff to give away. I'm going to take a break, come right back to you, Linda and Scott. And also when I come back, I mentioned it from time to time that I was the creature keeper on the new Mickey Mouse Club. Maybe I don't talk about it enough. It was probably one of the most exciting times for me. I would go down. I was living on Long Island at the time. Yeah, that's where I'm from, Long Island. I was living on Long Island at the time, and that's where every week or every other week I would fly down to Orlando to do the Mickey Mouse Club. And my Mouseketeers, well, you know who they were. They're very famous, sexy women, sexy men nowadays. But what's interesting is when I was working with them, and I was the creature keeper on the new Mickey Mouse Club. You can go to YouTube and check some of the old stuff. Yeah, I did have to say, why? Because we like you. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because, jokingly, someone was asking me about the Mickey Mouse Club the other day. I said, I can't look at them now. I can't look at any of the girls that were the members of the Mickey Mouse Club when I was doing it. And they said, why can't you? And I said, they were little girls when I knew them. They're like 11, 12 years old, even younger, 10, 9 years old. Now they're adult women walking around. I can't look. I just can't. That's just me. I can't look at them. Phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Although I did enjoy singing on the Mickey Mouse Club. Let me take a quick break. When we come back, Scott, Linda, Phil will get to your calls right after this. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein. I get this way too often. This was somebody, one of my listeners sent this to me about someone they knew. Unfortunately for Porchy the shelter cat, things have been kind of rough lately. A few days ago, his would-be forever family decided to return him to the shelter because he was meowing for attention too much. Shame on, where are these people coming from? They adopted him from a shelter. He's in a new home. He's meowing a little more than normal. They bring him back to the shelter. That's their resolution. Where are your hearts? Where are your souls? Give the cat the opportunity. I do not understand that. But then again, it's not up to me to understand. Just go to any shelter or rescue in this country and see how full they are. You'll know exactly what I am talking about. Let me get back to the phones right now. The phones are jam-packed. So we're going to go to Scott first in Marina del Rey. Hey, Scott. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Warren.
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm doing good, Scott. How about yourself?
Doing well. Enjoy your show and all the helpful information.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. How can I help you today?
We have a 13-year-old male Labradoodle. He's a very gentle, dignified senior gentleman at this point, though still has a lot of youthful energy and young at heart. Over the years, occasionally, every few years, we would have his teeth professionally cleaned with no anesthetic, I would add. And just wanted to know your view at this point, now that he's 13. Do you see benefits, or would it be helpful to continue that process and let a professional clean his teeth without anesthetic?
Yeah, as long as the dog's okay with it, he's not overly stressed out with it, and the fact that he's 13 years old, I'm sure your vet would not be using anesthesia unless he did all kinds of blood work first. So yeah, even at 13 years old, I mean, I'm hoping he lives to be 18 years old. But as long as you say he's active, he's busy, he's happy, and does he stress out when he gets his teeth cleaned?
Yes, when he goes for teeth cleaning or grooming, he has a very strong sense of what's about to happen, and he starts to shiver as we get close.
Why don't we do this? Okay, there are companies now that will do non-anesthetic teeth cleaning at your home. That might be a better alternative with a 13-year-old dog. Having someone come to your home where the dog is feeling more comfortable, he can be in his own bed, mom and dad are around, he can have his little toy, stuffed toy in front of him. So in other words, at 13 years old, I think it's important he's active, he's going, and yeah, because in other words, we don't want to develop a lot of people don't realize that tooth decay or gum problems can go through to the bloodstream and create all kinds of situations. So having the teeth cleaned is really critical. So I would have it done, but I would always, at 13 years old, you may want to try to consider having it done at home. Is that an alternative for you?
Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah, in other words, I don't have the name of the company that does it right now, but I'm sure if you check around at the dog parks and the locals, I'm sure you will find a company that does it. Check them out really careful, like you would check out a pediatrician. But I think if he does get stressed out at 13 years old, you want to make his life, or whatever time he has left, 20 years, I hope, you want to make it as least stressful as possible. So having the teeth cleaned at home would absolutely be my recommendation at this point.
Well, thank you for the information.
Hey, listen, Scott, do you still walk him a lot?
Yes, he does get walked a couple of times.
What's his reaction when he sees other dogs?
He's rather calm. He can show some interest and energy, but I always tease that he's half human. He's kind of a Labra-human, and he's kind of like a Fonzie. He's cool.
So we have I like that. I've never heard a dog described this one. By the way, an incredibly nice guy. Yeah, it's a great call, by the way. And I'm really glad you called, because a lot of people don't understand how important teeth cleaning is for our dogs and for our cats. They just assume it's bad breath, it's this, it's the other thing. But 85% of dogs to 90% will develop some type of dental or periodontal disease by the time they're just 3 to 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. So, and again, it's not just a matter of bad breath or losing a tooth here and there. It can get into the bloodstream, infections, all kinds of things can happen. So it's really important to have their teeth checked on a regular basis. A real thorough cleaning when they're younger. The vet uses the same thing your dentist uses, a Cavitron, to get underneath the gums, because dogs are constantly licking themselves, so they're getting a lot of hair stuck between their teeth. So in your case, I would do it. Hey, can you promise, Scott, do me a favor, though? I'm going to let you go. Will you give me a call back and let me know if you found a good company in your area that's going to be doing the non-anesthesia teeth cleaning?
Yeah, we'll plan on doing that.
I really appreciate it. What's your dog's name?
Chopin.
Obviously, you're into music. I appreciate the phone call. Give Chopin a big hug and a kiss, and call me back and let me know. I hope that kind of answered some questions for other people out there about teeth cleaning. My guys, Molly and Willie, have to go in probably in the next month or two for their teeth cleaning as well. Except for this. This is how crazy I am. Maybe I have a little hand with the vet. When Molly and Willie go in to have their teeth cleaned, or when Molly and Willie ever go to the vet, they have to go together. Because they're so bonded, they have to go together. Now, it takes a good couple of hours to clean the teeth and then a couple of hours for the anesthesia to wear off. And I sit in my car in the parking lot at the veterinarian's office or in the waiting room for hours and hours. I don't leave until Molly and Willie are out of their anesthesia and ready to go. But that's just me. I'm not advocating that for anyone else. That is just me. And I passed the other day here in Arizona. I guess they have them in LA. I have never seen one. It's a veterinary practice. That's all they do is teeth cleaning. That's all they do. You drop your dog off in the morning, pick them up in the afternoon. It's up to you if you want to do that, but that's all they do. And I got to tell you, because they're right across from my human dentist, and I watch the people going and coming and going, and literally dozens and dozens of dogs every day getting their teeth cleaned at a veterinary hospital that only does teeth cleaning. Hey, the phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Linda, we have Bill, we have Steve, we have Brent. I'll get to all your calls. Even though I don't get them to the top of the hour, we have a whole other hour to go, so plenty of time for your calls. Still got a few things to give away on the Pet Show as well. Also, coming up a little bit later, I'm going to tell you how important it is for your gut to have a dog. Do you know that people that grow up in farms have a lot less problems with their stomachs than people that grow up in the city? We'll talk about that. Answer all your pet and animal questions. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show. I'm going to take a call, but if I don't get to your call, Bill, Madeline, Steve, and Brent, we're just going to take a real quick break, just to break a couple of minutes at the top of the hour, and I got a whole other hour to get to you. So don't go anywhere. Hang in there. Give your dog or cat a treat and grab yourself a cup of coffee. Let me go to Linda right now in Santa Monica. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. I have an answer to your question about getting a new pet when you lose one.
Yeah, what do you think?
For me, I get a new pet right away to, one, fill the emptiness in my heart, and two, because there's someone, there's another cat out there that needs help, that needs a home.
Now, listen, there are so many people like you that approach it that way, and that's great. My only concern sometimes is people like you, they get so attached to their dogs, so attached to their cats, that if they go out right away and they bring another one home, they tend to make a comparison. And that's not fair to do. It's not fair to the new pet coming in. So I think it's a great idea. There are so many dogs and cats on the streets and the shelters that going out and getting them right away, as long as you can maintain not to compare them to the previous pet that crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. So how many pets do you have now, Linda?
I have 3 cats.
Three cats. And you've always been a cat person?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. And they're well-behaved?
Pretty much, yeah. One of them doesn't like one of them, but then the third one gets along with both of them. So we have a nice little family here.
I'm going to try something with you. Do you mind if I send you something?
Well, I was going to say, what are you going to send me?
I'm going to send you my card.
First, I was going to say send it to a rescue, but you said you're going to try something?
Yeah, I want to send you something called a calming disc. Okay, they're made by a great company called acornpetproducts.com, acornpetproducts.com. It's absolutely an amazing thing. It works with dogs. It works with cats. So let me do this. I'm going to put you on hold, and the lovely Suzette's going to pick up, and we're going to send you a calming disc from my good friends over at Acorn Pets. Check out their website, acornpets.com. They have all kinds of calming products, all kinds of recovery products. If you have a dog that's going through surgery or a cat that's going through, check out their website. It's just absolutely amazing. Acornpets.com, acornpets.com. I'm going to take a quick break for the top of the hour. We come back. Steve in Tarzana. And then we have Brent in L.A. We have Madeline in L.A. We have Linda. We just did Linda in Santa Monica, so I do have an open line. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to all your pet and animal questions, as well as finding out if dogs can literally suffer with autism. We'll talk about that when we come back. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. Warren Eckstein, that phone number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Just before I get to you, Steve, I'm going to take you guys in order. I'm going to get to all your calls. Promise everyone up there now. And I do have an open line, so it's a great time to call 866-870-KRLA. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about this because it's really important to me. Is it possible for dogs to be autistic? Real quick story. According to a growing number of veterinarians, yes, a study conducted by the American College of Veterinary Behaviors found interesting links between autism-like behaviors such as obsessive tail chasing and various genetic information. Though additional research is needed to learn more about autism in dogs, it's estimated that between 15 to 60% of people with the Fragile X syndrome land somewhere on the autism spectrum. That's something with dogs with that Fragile X syndrome. You can look that up online, Fragile X syndrome. So things like developmental delays, intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, anxiety, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorder. So the answer is more research needs to be done, but basically from what I'm understanding is that the comparison between autism and canine dysfunction behavior is very, very similar. So I guess you can say that in some ways dogs can in fact suffer with autism. Let me get right back to the phone lines here. We'll go to Steve first. We'll take you guys right in order. Hey, Steve in Tarzana, welcome to the Pet Show.
Well, hello, Warren. Thank you for taking my call. I've called
It's
you
my pleasure.
before about my dog, and you've been very helpful, but I have a couple of new questions.
I'm ready.
Okay, she's half Chihuahua, half Papillon. She's 13 years old. We rescued her about 10 years ago after she had given birth, and she is in good health. We just had her with the vet and got a full physical and blood work, and the vet said she was in great shape for a 13-year-old dog. And so here's my questions. First of all, she has just started in the last few months licking her paws almost incessantly, starting first with the front paws. Now she's working her way to the back ones. And we have no idea why. The vet doesn't have any idea why.
Your vet has no opinion in terms of why it started all of a sudden?
No opinion. Nothing has changed. No traumas. No animals in, animals out. She's just started licking her paws at first.
And what do you sometimes at 13 years old, it's kind of, even though they're healthy and they're happy, things change. There may be some arthritis in the feet. I'm surprised the vet didn't mention that, because very often when you have an older dog that all of a sudden is starting to lick their paws, generally, or not all the time, it could be their nails hurt them, their pads hurt them, their paws hurt them, in between. It could be any number of things. That's that end of it. Also, as a behaviorist, it could be anxiety, it could be boredom, or it could be attention seeking as well. Are you overreacting when she's doing it?
No. Sometimes I'll wonder whether she's got a hot spot or something, so I'll just go over there and I'll kind of move her head a little bit, and then I will scratch it for her, and she seems appreciative. But
you've noticed no other changes in her behavior whatsoever.
One other one, which is the one I wanted to talk to you about, the other one I said, she has always had a walk every night of her life after dinner, enjoys her walks, enjoys being out, prancing around. She runs freely at dog parks, so I know that she's okay that way. Lately, when I say, okay, let's go for a walk, and I grab the leash, and she looks at me like I'm an alien. She doesn't want to go. And then I will entice her to get to the front door. All of a sudden, she'll act excited again about the walk, and then about halfway through our normal walk, she will stop dead, dig her front paws in, and look up at me with a stare that says, I don't want to go anymore. So sometimes I will coax her to get her to go a little farther. Other times I just say, you want to go home? And she turns around and she starts taking us home.
Okay, so you're reacting. You're reacting. Bottom line is you're reacting to it.
Yes.
Okay, let me explain it this way. All right, I'm not sure your vet is on target with it, okay? Because there's so many other things it could be. It could be a fungal infection, it could be a hormonal imbalance, it could be atopic dermatitis, could be anxiety, could be boredom. I'm just going down a list I wrote while I was waiting for you. Could be allergies, could be dry skin, could be injuries, could be pain, could be arthritis, could be the nails are too long. There's no such thing as not a reason. So it's very possible that the dog may be going through some changes in the mind. She's 13 years old. It's very possible that there may be some arthritic conditions. Maybe it hurts her after a longer walk. Maybe she's associating the leash with that and stopping. If I were you, what I would try to do is, when you walk her, is she walking on concrete or is she walking on grass?
Concrete.
And when you take the dog,
we walk on the sidewalk, and then she goes on the grass.
Yeah, and I understand that. But when you take her to the dog park, it's grass, correct?
Correct.
Maybe the concrete's hurting her. Are her nails trimmed properly?
Okay, makes sense. So just so you know, we wondered about arthritis, and so we've gotten stairs that help her get up and down off of our bed where she sleeps, and another set for up and down off the couch where she also.
Well, then right off the bat, if you noticed that you went out and you bought stairs, and thank you for doing that for your dog, because she might have been having trouble getting up on the bed or getting up on the couch. Otherwise, you wouldn't have went out right away and bought the stairs. That's indicative that maybe arthritis was kind of in the back of your head as well.
Yes. Always with older dogs. Yes, I think.
And did you run the arthritic problem by your veterinarian?
Absolutely.
And what did he say?
He squeezed and pulled and tugged and did all the blood work and came back and said, no, she's in good health.
Well, let me tell you something, not to go against your vet, and God bless your veterinarian. I suffer severely with arthritis. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I have to go for infusions every few weeks, okay? So when it comes to arthritis, I pretty know arthritis. And the bottom line is you can pull on my arm, you can squeeze my arm, you can jump through hoops, and sometimes it feels absolutely fine. And other times it hurts like hell. So again, I think that maybe you want to go a little bit further with the vet rather than the vet saying, poo-poo, there's no reason for it. There's always a reason for a change. It may be behavioral, it may be physical. We don't know. But I would think again about maybe checking the nails being nice and trimmed. I think perhaps there's some arthritis there. Did the vet recommend any arthritis medication?
Nothing.
Maybe it's worth a shot.
Bill of health, no medication.
Yeah, no such thing as I got a clean bill of health too, and then I couldn't walk out of the doctor's office. So there's no such thing as a clean bill of health. I would recommend a second opinion. Obviously, you love the dog. Obviously, the dog is doing incredibly well in all other ways. So I would definitely recommend a second opinion at this point. There are some great products on the market. I've seen dogs in similar situations where they would stop and do that, or just all of a sudden not decide that they wanted to go any further. And as soon as they were put on arthritic medication, they felt a whole lot better. But I would get a second opinion.
She gets glucosamine every night after dinner.
Glucosamine's fine. Chondroitin's fine. All of that stuff is fine. Maybe she needs hyaluronic acid. Maybe she needs one of the newer products on the market specifically made for arthritis. There are some great ones there. I would get a second opinion at this point. For new products, no, I'm going to have your vet recommend. I want to go further. Maybe the vet might even do some blood tests. I don't know, but I think the vet should go further rather than just say, well, I pulled this and I pulled that. It's not this, it's not that. I love veterinarians. I work with them every day. I just was at the gym with one the other day. But again, no one is omnipotent, not even me. Imagine that. So I think it's important to really push a little bit further. I always joke that veterinarians are like a wheelbarrow. They're a useful tool, but sometimes you got to push them a little bit to get the right results. A second opinion is what I recommend for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we push, but then we realize also that every time we walk in the door, it's $500 or $600. So
yeah. Well, you know, if you spend $500 or $600 and you're not getting the results, then maybe you should spend $1,000 and get the results, and you won't have to spend all those $500 or $600 bills. Second opinion, you might want to see an orthopedist. Get a second opinion from a specialist. It may cost you a drop more now, but you're not going to be going back to the vet every few weeks and spending $500 here and $500 here. Plus, that aside, the dog's going to feel a whole lot better if they can find out exactly what's causing the problem.
On this walk, when she decides all of a sudden she's had enough and she wants to go home, should I follow that instinct, or should I cope?
Yeah, well, you've had the dog for 13 years. She's never done this before till recently, so something obviously is stopping her.
Few months.
Yeah, so in other words, something is out, unless there's a new dog in the neighborhood, she's smelling coyote poop in the neighborhood, any of that could be it. But it says to me that she's going for a walk that she normally would go on a regular basis. She's stopping in the middle, turning around, and wants to come home. Either it's some type of pain, or her vision or her ears are not the same as they were. She's not seeing things the same way, not hearing things the same way. That can cause a little of anxiety. And anxiety from a dog's perspective, we might crack our knuckles, take a drink, scratch our head. A dog's anxiety is done versus licking. Licking is a way of alleviating anxiety in a dog. It's the first thing a mother does when a puppy is born and they go back to it. So the fact that she's licking that area, I think we might want to go just a little bit further. Now you got me stoked up. I got to find out. So will you call me back as well, Steve, and let me know what the results are going to be?
Of course, but I didn't quite get the answer. Should I give in to her wanting to
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why would you want to force it? If you were going for a walk and you decided, well, it's great exercise. You take it to the dog park. She gets exercise there, right?
More or less. She's not a runner.
Listen,
she's a walker.
At 13 years old, I don't care if she does dance aerobics or Pilates, okay? Whatever exercise she's getting is fine with me. But obviously, she's been walking along that walk, no problem whatsoever. Now, all of a sudden, the last few months, it's stopped. Something's not right. It could be hearing, could be vision, could be pain, could be arthritis. It could be some type of allergy. They could have sprayed for mosquitoes. Could be any number of things, but I definitely want you to go a little bit further.
Okay, I got it.
Steve, give her a hug and a kiss.
Information.
Give her a hug and a kiss and give me a call back and let me know how you're doing, okay? Gosh, this is why I stay. People say, Warren, you've been doing the show for 45 years. How long are you going to continue doing? This is why I do it. I deal with so many thousands of people over the years that the bottom line is I've heard most of it. And I work with vets on a regular basis. And no one respects vets more than I do. But you have to question. You have to go further sometimes. You can't just accept it. I remember when I was first diagnosed, when I first moved to L.A., I was having a lot of pain in all different parts of my body. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, don't worry about it. Then I went to a rheumatologist, and they did a blood test and said, you know what? You've had rheumatoid arthritis for a long period of time. I suppose you're not suffering even more. So sometimes you got to go a little bit further and question the vet or the doctors even more. Phone number 866-870 KRLA 866-870-5752. Let me take a break. When we come back, Brent will be up next, followed by Madeline, followed by Anna, followed by Mike with I just had a coyote in my backyard yesterday, so we'll get to all your calls. Quick break, then right back at you. Again, that number 866-870 KRLA 866-870-5752. Listen. Next time. 866-870 the phone number 866-870-5752. Let's go to Brent in LA, and then we'll get to Madeline, Mike, and Anna. Brent, welcome to the Pet Show. Hey, Brent. Brent, are you not with me?
Hello. Yeah, a blessed day, Warren.
And back at you. What's up?
When you spoke of California's dog shelters, I realized California's predator politicians and heartless administrators are incapable of ever being able to care humanely for our dogs than they are capable of caring for our human homeless or abating our forest fires in the Pacific Palisades, Paradise, or Malibu. And my fantasy is that California be forced to privatize our animal control problem and hire you to become California's canine control czar to get a humane handle on our state-created canine catastrophe. And I think we can call the agency Hugs and Kisses for California's Canines.
Brent, it's a great idea, and I really I feel good about that. Only here's the situation: there are people that are much, much more qualified for that position than myself, and I'll tell you why. I am an animal behaviorist. I am an animal trainer. I am not an administrator. Let me put it a better way. I suck at administration, okay? Just as anyone who works with me, I'm really bad at it. So what they really need is changes. Maybe private, maybe that's the way to go. Or maybe it is the way to go. I don't know. But anyway, there are people out there. I don't know why. I lived in LA for 25 years. I recently moved to Arizona. When I lived in New York, I made some drastic changes in New York. I served on the board for and I still serve on the board for the oldest no-kill shelter in the United States, called the rehome, which means stay a while in Scottish. So if we can, I'm not involved that much other than I hear every horror story that comes across. I think that if the proper administrator came in and they ran it the proper way, because in the last 25 years, I've yet to hear anybody tell me how great the LA Animal Services is. I've never heard anyone say, I've heard people tell me about New York's doing better, Jersey's doing better, I've never heard anyone say to me, you know what, thank God for LA Animal Services, Warren. Man, are they doing an incredible job saving animals. I've never heard that. So maybe you're right. Maybe changes are needed, but I'll support any changes you want, but me being in charge, not the way to go. Not a good idea, Brent. I appreciate the compliment, but not a great idea.
I would just love you as the figurehead and the face of it, and you could get the administrators underneath you. Yeah,
well, maybe the administrators can get me underneath them. Maybe I can guide them or consult with them a little bit, but they don't like me. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it one time and one time only. Years ago, I was asked to do a television show, a national TV show for Animal Planet, right? And they said, Warren, we love you, the hugs and kisses and all the things you do. We want you on the air. The head of LA Animal Services told the production company that Warren Eckstein is the most dangerous man in America. Exact quote, is the most dangerous man in America. Me, puppy kisser, kitten hugger, the most dangerous man. So it's going to be really difficult. There's so much political stuff involved in Los Angeles, so much politics involved. I would love to see any changes that are going to help the animals at the shelters all across the state. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's time for some changes because I haven't seen the changes taking place.
Well, thank you for keep publicizing it.
Well, no, thank you, Brent. You keep calling me. I got to hang up. I love when you call me. It's true, though, and I'm just being honest with you guys. Listen, I love what I do. I believe I'm good at what I've been doing for 45 or 50 some odd years, and worked in every continent pretty much except for the North Pole and the South Pole. But again, you have to know what you're not good at, and I'm not good at administrative. I mean, you should see my desk. I wish you could see my desk right now. You're looking behind me right now, but that's the neat part. If you were to see my desk right now, papers here and papers there and this here and that, I'm not good at it. Just ask my wife, Denise. I don't even know what bank I use. I don't. People think I'm crazy when I say that. I know that if it has 4 legs and I can hug it and I can kiss it, I can take care of it. Other than that, I don't know. Number here, 866-870. Stop laughing, Alex. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Madeline, I'm going to get to you. Mike, I'm going to get to you. And I'm going to get to you. But first, I want to share this with you. How dogs benefit your gut health. This is a story, again, I'm posting. And by the way, if you're not following me on YouTube, why? YouTube.com/Warren Eckstein. It's free. Subscribe. I share a lot of great stuff there during the week. Let me share this with you. The reason why there are fewer instances of allergies or autoimmune diseases in farming communities or households with animals remains unclear, but many researchers across the board believe it is linked to the hygiene hypothesis. New word for me, hygiene hypothesis. The idea that young children in clean, modern environments are not exposed to an adequate amount of microbes, resulting in understimulated immune systems and making them more likely to develop allergies, autoimmune diseases. Dogs may help with that. So it's saying that the kids, maybe that's why I don't have any immune problems. My house was never that clean. It always had lots and lots of animals in it. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-8705. But it makes sense. It makes sense. We know when people are exposed to certain things, it can help them prevent other things from taking place down the road a bit. Whew. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back. I'm going to take you. I got Madeline, Mike, and Anna, I want to get to your calls. If I have time, I want to talk about when I'm talking about the having conversation with that. I want to talk about the greeting stretch. Does anyone know what the greeting stretch is? How many times have you come home or walked into the house and your dog drops his front to the back, puts his butt up in the rear, wags his tail? I call that the greeting stretch, and that's why dogs do it. If your dog stretches when he sees you, he's trying to communicate something to you. The greeting stretch. Your dog is stretching out because he's welcoming you home and saying, hey, play with me. You've been gone for a while. Play with me. The greeting stretch. Something that makes me smile every single time I watch Molly and Willie do it. 866-870-Carol. I'm going to hold you guys after the next break, and then I want to get to you guys right away. Also, I want you to know that I've made some changes. I made a blooper last week on the Pet Show. I gave you not the wrong information, but I have a much, much better Facebook page for you guys to go to. I have several Facebook pages. I know it's confusing, and I post on all of them. But from now on, you should follow this Facebook page, facebook.com/Warren Eckstein. I tried to make it as easy as I possibly can. We have the Pet Insider and all the different ones. But from now on, the easiest way and where I'm going to do most of my posting is simply facebook.com/Warren Eckstein, facebook.com/Warren Eckstein. And you can also check out YouTube at Warren Eckstein as well. The greeting stretch. Anyone out there have a dog that does the greeting stretch? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA. Just before we go to the break and then come back to Anna, Mike, and Madeline, it literally was 103 degrees where I live in Arizona, 103 degrees. And it's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going out to a nice brunch, and it's supposed to be the hottest day of the year. They're anticipating 105 degrees. So what did my lovely wife, Denise, do? She booked an outdoor table. I have no idea how this is going to work. An outdoor table, 105 degrees. Sounds like a swell day, Denise, for me in beautiful Arizona. Let's take a quick break. Then we'll get back to you. I still want to hear from people. Should you bring a new pet into your home right away when your dog or cat crosses the Rainbow Bridge, or should you wait a while? I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. Time 866-870-KRLA. Just to get a reminder, because I have a lot of Facebook pages, but the Facebook page for you guys, the best one to go to is facebook.com/Warren Eckstein. I think that's going to make it as easy as possible. I do have other pages as well, but that's the one where I'm going to be posting. I'll share it with the other pages, but the original post will be on facebook.com/Warren Eckstein. Let me get back to the phone lines here. Let's go to Madeline, then we're going to go to Anna, and then Mike. Hey, Madeline, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Like you're right next to me, Madeline. What can I do for you?
Okay. My vet said Skylar needs cleaning. They were going to charge me $1,100 and anesthetize her, et cetera, et cetera. I looked around. There is a company called Smile Specialists, Dog Dentists. I have the phone number. It's $185. They go to various vets around town. I've booked an appointment with Henley Pet Spa on Robertson, South Robertson. You might know them. They work out of a truck. They have a certified dentist doing the cleaning, including 1/4 inch above the gum line, and takes 15 to 20 minutes, and it's $185.
I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not really familiar with them, but I heard of other places. You know, I do the national show too and the Canadian show, so there are other places like this. Might be a different approach, might be a better approach. So yeah, in other words, I would have, and I'm so glad you gave me. You have access to a computer.
Yeah, of course.
Send me an email at mail@thepetshow.com or mail@Warren Eckstein. It goes to the same place.
Hold on, I got to write it down.
Okay, you're like me. A pen in hand at all times. Pen.
Computer, my brain may not remember. Mail at WarrenEckstein.com.
That's it. Mail at warreneckstein.com. It'll get here with the Smile Specialist. Excuse me.
I'll
and
send
their
the phone number. I'm doing it at Henley's Spa, which is South Robertson, right off of between Olympic and Pico, and they're around. They go to several.
Yeah, I totally. Listen. No. It's a great call. So send me that information so I can share it with my listeners, okay?
Okay, mail at warreneckstein.com.
That's
correct?
The one, ECKSTEIN. That's me.
And the top line, dog dentist, reasonable price.
I really appreciate
So you'll recognize it.
I will recognize it. And I got to move on, but thank you so much for calling. I appreciate that. Now, here's the scenario. I don't know if I got to it last week. But why is the cost of veterinary medicine in certain cases so high? Well, the expenses are really high for veterinarians. But a lot of the veterinarian companies, VCA, Blue Pearl, the other one, they're all owned by Mars Corporation, the Mars Company. And I love the vets, but the bottom line is I think that their prices are controlled by the corporation. And maybe that's why you have to shop around a little bit. The cost factor can be really different. I go to an independent veterinarian. Nothing wrong with VCA, nothing wrong with Blue Pearl, nothing wrong with any of them, except they have to answer to corporate. Most independent vets don't have to. Just another reason that the prices may be going up a little bit at a time, something to take into consideration. 866-870-KRLA. Let's go to Anna in Burbank. Hi, Anna in Burbank. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Alan. I am a regular caller. I just want to say regarding vets, you find in the valley, if you go to places in LA, of course, the rent is a lot higher. So, like you say, the expenses are a lot higher. So go to small places, right? The Santa Clarita has some good ones. I just want to repeat for the person that called regarding a doggy licking their paws. My dogs did that a lot. They were wolves. I changed their diet to anything that didn't have rice in it, and that stopped. Just for the record, that was my experience.
Well, that's one of the things I brought up in terms of when I brought up allergies. Not only did I bring up environmental allergies, which this time one of my friends just jotted me. I don't know where she is. Just talking about this time of year, especially with it started a few months ago, and this time of year, there's a lot of allergens out there. The wind's been blowing, so it could be any number of things. But again, the fact that it occurred all of a sudden like that, and the way the dog is reacting, doesn't seem like an allergy to me. It seems more like pain to me when he's turning around and wanting to go home. So that's it. But a great call, by the way. So I'm noticing you said something about the air horn. What's going on with that?
Oh, yeah, I never got it the last time that I called several weeks ago. I'm a
okay, well, it takes, listen.
But I also want to say that I love you so much because your recommendations, people on the phone where they're walking the dogs, not paying attention, carry protection in case a dog shows up or a crazy person trying to steal your dog, so that's so dangerous nowadays, right? I mean,
no, you're absolutely right. But listen, anyway, Anna, just so you know, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for the air horns to come.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because we do it. We do it ourselves. We don't have a fulfillment house, so 4 to 6 weeks. That's how long it takes. If you don't get it after 4 to 6 weeks, send me an email. We'll check it out. But usually 4 to 6 weeks, it should be in your hands. And you're absolutely right. Everyone should have one of these air horns, and that's why I'm going to do a commercial for them in a little while. But let me tell you, if you go to my website, I don't know why the first person that called about the air horn was having a problem, because you don't have to type in any.
I think it's been longer than 3
No,
months,
but you don't know. In terms of ordering the air horns, now you can go to thepetshow.com. You can go to the website thepetshow.com. You can order the air horns in 2 different sizes, 15% off for one, 20% off for two, 20. The bottom line is this. When you go there, you don't have to type in any special code. You can order them right there and automatically be deducted. So for those people that are checking on it, go to thepetshow.com. Check out the air horns. As I said, 2 different sizes now, regular and XL, 15% off of one, 20% off. And by the way, when you're at the website, a great call, by the way. Thank you so much. By the way, when you're at the website, check out the new T-shirts. We have a rainbow of colors and sizes. How big are the the sizes? We have sizes up to, let me look here, but big sizes. I know we have up to size 5X or 3X, I believe. So anyway, check out the t-shirts. By the way, when you order the t-shirts on my website, thepetshow.com, when you order the t-shirts there, that money goes to my own Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. You know, I've been talking to you guys for how many years? 45 years now. I haven't really talked a lot about the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, but I need your help. I need your help. I am getting inundated all across the U.S. from small shelters, small and pop organizations. I mean, the ones you don't know about. You've heard me say this every week. You love dogs, you love cats, you love animals. You listen to The Pet Show for 45 years, many of you. These organizations are in dire straits. They have no money to feed their dogs, no money to put gas in the van to take the dogs to get spayed and neuter. These are the small organizations that need your help. The big ones do a great job, but they have thousands, millions of dollars. These small organizations do a cookout or a fish fry that weighs $50 to spay and neuter a dog. That's where, when you donate to my charity, 501c3 Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, and I need your donations now. We're getting inundated. If you donate to Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund, it's a 501c3. It's tax deductible. And when you buy one of those t-shirts, or if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, just go to hugsandskissesanimalfund.org. Every single penny goes directly to those animal organizations across the country. Every expense, computer expense, mailing, that all comes out of my pocket personally, and I love doing it. I love doing it. So if you've not helped me out before, again, I know a lot of people help out organizations, but $5, $10, whatever you can do. I'm telling you, every day I get dozens and dozens of dire emails and texts from these great people all across the United States saying, Warren, can you please help us? You've helped us in the past, but help us now. Everyone's asking for dollars. I get it. But you can rest assured that every single dollar that comes into hugsandskissesanimalfund.org goes directly to organizations all across the country. In fact, starting next week, I'm going to start reading some thank you notes from these small mom and pops. You can see tears on the thank you notes because we sent them 500 or 1,000 or 200 or 150. To them, may not sound a lot of money to the big organizations, but small mom and pop organizations, that $500 or that $1,000 is a matter of life and death for many, many dogs and cats. So please, please, please go to the Hugs and Kisses Animal Fund. Donate there, PayPal, donate there, hugsandskissesanimalfund.org. And bless you and thank you for doing that. If I've helped you out over the years, now's a chance to, I don't want to say pay me back, but help those small organizations across the country that my heart really tries to work with as much as possible. Let me do this. Let me take a break. When we come back, Mike, you will be up next. I got to get to your call. And I know what your call's about, so we'll get to your call. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Let me take a real quick break, then right back to Mike. I do have some open lines, so if you have a question, as I got time to answer them for you, 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. So let's get to my friend Mike in beautiful Long Beach. Hey, Mike, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I live in North Long Beach, and if anybody's listening, it's District 8. We had coyotes every so often, but now we have another one, and it happened to kill one of the neighbor's small dogs. And the other down the street, another dog's missing, so I presume that had the same fate. Our neighborhood is unusual, I guess. We have a lot of small dogs here, and it's a lot of new people coming in with babies up to 5 years old. So there's a lot of youngsters. I don't know how a dog could jump over a 6-foot fence or a coyote, and or a 5-foot fence. Some people have. You have any suggestions to repel them out of the yard?
Yeah, I got a lot of. Listen, I live in Arizona now, okay, and where I live is a pretty rural, surrounded by pretty rural area. So a day does not go by where I don't have some relationship with coyotes. Just this morning, a coyote walked right past the back of my house. Now, I go walking every morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I come across coyotes all the time. And they leave me alone, and I leave them alone. But here's the bottom line. I have a 7-foot fence that surrounds my entire property. Can a coyote get over a 7-foot fence? You bet they can. But here's the deal. I have 2 little dogs. Together they may weigh 20 pounds, 21 pounds.
Right.
When they're in my yard, they're never there by themselves. I am there whenever they're outside. You know, we have to learn to live with the wildlife in our neighborhood, whether it be coyotes. I have snake-proof fencing around my yard, so there's no snakes that can get in, I hope. But in terms of coyotes, you know, coyotes are pretty darn bright animals. I wish I was as smart as them. But you can't blame the coyotes for trying to survive on the land they've been living on for thousands of years that we've taken over. So we're going to have to compromise and learn to live with coyotes. The best way to do that is dogs should be on a leash. If your dogs are in the yard, you should be there with them. There are some tricks that people use. There are coyote rollers that you can put on top of your fence. They don't work 100%. Now, when I am walking my dogs, they are never walked unless I have one of those air horns you hear me talk about in my pocket. And the reason for that is if I see coyote approaching, usually one coyote is not going to be the problem, but when they're in a group of 2 or 3, then they get a little tougher, like a gang of teenage boys. So again, using you know, the coyotes are going to be there. The coyotes have a right to be there, and so do the people moving in with their little dogs. But you're going to have to live alongside of each other, and the best way to do that is to use one of these air horns to repel the coyotes, either in your yard or when you're walking. But the safest thing that you can do, literally, is when your dogs are, I mean, I'm talking about a German Shepherd or a Neapolitan Mastiff or a large dog or whatever. They might be able to go out in the yard by themselves a little bit. But in terms of small dogs, they should not be out by themselves, first of all. And I don't care what your yard's about. I grew up on Long Island, and we never had coyotes on Long Island when I was there. Now they're all over the place, and people are calling me from Long Island. All parts of even New York City, they're spotting coyotes in Central Park. They're going to be around. We're going to have to learn how to deal with them. And the best way to deal with them is not to harm them. Nobody should feed them. No one should pay a lot of attention to them, but you should be able to repel them if you're going for a walk. So what I'm going to do you have a situation with your dog, Mike, and the coyotes?
Well, I have a small dog, and the neighbor was next door to me. That's where the coyote attacked her.
Yeah, my heart absolutely breaks for them. There's a lot of things that can be done. As I suggested, you can check out coyote rollers. They're actually special collars with spikes that stick out. There's actually a coyote jacket that dogs can wear, has spikes all over it. So if you have a small dog and the coyote grabs the dog, it's going to hurt the coyote. They're going to run away. But I think the best deterrent is these air horns, because you can use them from a distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, Mike, and I'm going to send you one of the air horns. It's going to take 4 or 5 weeks to get there, but I'm going to send you one of those air horns, and I really do appreciate that phone call. You know, I get a lot of call about coyotes. Where I am, there's coyotes, there's rattlesnakes, there's javelinas, bobcats. I haven't seen any bobcats yet, but I've seen a lot of javelinas. And really, a morning does not go by, and it's pitch black when I walk, so I just see the eyes. I'm hoping coyotes and not mountain lions. But it's amazing to me that most of the time, wildlife will leave you alone if you leave them alone. I actually woke up a coyote that day. Was fast asleep on the path I was walking, and as soon as he saw me, and I woke him up, and he moved away. So we're going to send you one of those air horns, and I really appreciate that phone call. Let me take a quick break. Speaking of the air horns, I'm telling you, they're available at the website. If you have any problems ordering, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Go to the website. This is my website, thepetshow.com. By the way, I'm going to a break, Alex. Thepetshow.com. And what we've done is we realize how many people call every week with coyote questions, or how many emails or texts or Instagram I get about coyotes. So we decided to do something about it. So these air horns are now available on my website, thepetshow.com. Don't forget the word the. It's all one word, thepetshow.com. So what we've done is we put them on sale. And here's the deal. There's 2 different sizes. There's the regular size and there's the XL size. If you order one at thepetshow.com, you get 15% off. If you order 2, you get 20% off. And if you order 3 or more, you'll get 25% off. God, I used to watch Mighty Mouse every single Saturday morning on my TV. All right, now I know that Mike had another question, so let me get back to Mike. Hey, Mike, what the world needs is Mighty Mouse and Billy Jack. Be a much safer world. Mighty Mouse and Billy Jack can save the planet. Hey, Mike, I know you had another question. What's up?
Yes, some of the neighbors were talking about, because they all have small dogs, pepper spray, or in this, one person said human urine sprayed on the backyard. And it's mostly happened at night, so most of the dogs come out.
All right, let me go over the urine. You don't need to pee in your backyard. What you can do is you go to Amazon, or you can go anywhere. You can Google. You can get yourself some wolf. Mountain lion urine. You can get cougar urine. It's available online. It's in a powder, crystal form. You can sprinkle that around. If you put a cougar urine around the outside of your property, it's going to stink a little bit, but the coyotes aren't going to come, okay? So not human. You don't want to pee in your backyard. It's not going to make any difference. We don't need human urine back there. Coyote urine's the way to go. Now, the interesting part that you talked about was the pepper spray. I don't have a problem with people carrying pepper spray. However, pepper spray is kind of the last resort. You have to be relatively close. So the air horn works from a distance. That would be your first response. But if you want to carry a backup pepper spray, I carry pepper spray with me also, but that's more for people than for the animals. But I do have it. Some people, when they go hiking in the deep woods where I am, because there are mountain lions and other animals, they have the bear spray. I don't think we need that. So if you want to carry pepper spray or have pepper spray around, that's good. The air horns are good, but really check out cougar urine. I know it sounds funny to a lot of people, but check out cougar urine. I think you'll be able to find it at Amazon.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day. We're going to send you that. I'm putting you on hold. You're getting that air horn. Don't go anywhere. And by the way, you don't have to pee in your backyard. I promise. That's the first time I heard that. I guess there might be something to it, but I don't know if coyotes are coming to our neighborhood anyway. Obviously, not afraid of human smells. They're used to human smells. And if you lived where I did, there was a lot of urine around there. Not so much now, but where I used to live, there was a lot of urine around there, and the coyotes were still kind of hanging out. We are just about out of time. Let me do this. I know a lot of people are waiting. A lot of people still have questions. When I get off the air here, I go right to do my Radio America Armed Forces radio show. The same type of show, same topics. I give away the same gifts, except the calls come from all over the United States and places like Guam, where there are troops all over the place. So this is the phone number, 877-725-8255. Wait about 10 minutes. Then you can call that number. I'll help you there, 877-725-8255. Until next week, give all your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, one between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you again for listening to The Pet Show.